Hi everybody, Planet Walls here. We're just beginning the first round of this tournament. It's a daily event, classic. So we are definitely going to be playing first. Not sure what deck our opponent is playing. Before we played against Deck Scorpio in Classic League, and he was playing, what was he playing? He was playing an interesting list. I think it was like a Shoth deck. So this we have 2 lands, a Mana Vault. We can make a first turn Birthing Pod, but that's actually not very good. What's awkward about this hand is that the Wormcoil is probably going to be a little slow. I think we're going to want to play that on turn 2 if we can get it out. We'll see what happens. So we're not going to mulligan. This could easily be mental misstepped, which would actually be kind of bad. But it did not. And so I have the option of casting a Birthing Pod right now. I think that that's probably wrong. My guess is that if he had mental misstep, he definitely would have countered that. The implication being that he probably actually has a Force of Will. Oh, and now everything is laid bare to him. Just figured I'll write that out for him so he doesn't have to do it himself. Okay, so I take it that he's very aware that I have this Wormcoil engine, and probably will be ready to counter that. I could play the Ancient Tomb that reveals that I don't have anything else fancy in my hand. I also have to take a ton of damage then. So I think with that considered, I'm actually going to be playing the City of Traders here. Yeah, I think that actually might be the right play, even though the land that doesn't deal more, the City of Traders, which is a better land to have out than Ancient Tomb, obviously, will probably die next turn. I think taking that much pain would just be probably a disaster this turn. Well, that resolved, which, to be honest, I'm a little surprised by. An interesting option is actually to use Salvage Titan to sack the Wormcoil engine and keep its value anyway, to some degree. I don't have the 3rd artifact out that I would need to do that. Though, if I... Okay, so he's going to Worldly Tutor. I don't know what he's going to find. He could just find an Emrakul or something. Huh. Okay, so he's going to try and combo off with Hermit Druid, I take it. This is interesting. What I can try to do is Birthing Pod, Wormcoil Engine, and turn it into... If I find a red, I can use Zealous Conscripts. I'm not sure that would do anything. So he's going to try and combo off. Hopefully there's a way that he can only target me. I don't know precisely the combo engine that his deck is going to use, or he could just counter my Birthing Pod if I play it. But what I can try to do is get Birthing Pod down and... If I get Birthing Pod down, I can turn this into a Platinum Angel. And if he can't remove that, then I might be able to survive. But I'm not sure about that. So the question is, do I want to untap this? If I do, I have access to 5 this turn. I might want more than that depending on what I draw. The way I have it now, I have access to 6. So I'm going to keep it that way. Go to 15. Not sure if that's right. Now Skull Clamp is actually interesting here. Like, attacking him and putting him at 9 doesn't seem very good, but if I am going to sacrifice the Birthing Pod, he could have a Daze, for instance. If he has a Daze, then what would I do? So I have this option. I can play the Birthing Pod, or I'm sorry, play the Skull Clamp, keep floating 1, play the Ancient Tomb, cast the Birthing Pod, and then I can pay for Daze and still activate the Birthing Pod once. I also have the option of using Salvage Titan, but that only brings me up to Platinum Angel, which isn't very strong in this situation if he has a way to combo me off. So I think I'm going to try and do that. Again, that doesn't seem very strong. He could also just have... he could just have a Force of Will. This is called Lose a Ton of Life. I think this gets forced. Because he's worried actually probably about Elish Norn coming out from the old deck I was running. Okay, so worrying about Daze was actually totally a legitimate concern. This is still interesting because now I can't attack because I lose the Birthing Pod mana in my pool. So I have to sack the Wormcoil Engine right now to find Platinum Angel. Again, the reason is I'm assuming he's going to try and combo off with Hermit Druid. I'm not sure exactly how, and I think I'd rather have a Platinum Angel out than a Wormcoil Engine, even though I could deal a bunch of damage this turn. So what I learned from this is that I should have attacked before doing any of this. It would have been a 6-point life swing, which is unfortunate that I have to lose here. But I think I have to, because if he is able to combo off, and I assume that it kills me in one turn, I have to do this now. So let's do it. Not sure if this accomplishes much of anything. This will be a learning experience, because I haven't been able to watch his deck in a replay. My guess is that whatever he is able to do with Hermit Druid ends up killing Platinum Angel, in addition to whatever else it does. But I take it if he knew that, then he would just immediately activate the Hermit Druid. It is unfortunate that I couldn't get that 6-point life swing. It would have been really nice to be able to do that. So if he has a bounce spell, for instance, I'm going to look at his graveyard. I would have trouble coming back from that if he had artifact removal spell. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We'll see how this deck works. It's floating a blue. Yep, so he did have a bounce spell. So I could bounce the Hermit Druid here. It's not going to do anything though. So could sacrifice a land to bounce my Mana Vault, which might be right actually. No, that probably isn't right. Actually, you know what? That could be right. Now he has the option of sacking land to bounce something else, but I think that's okay. Okay, so this is going to involve a Mimeoplasm Lord of Extinction. Okay, so that only, what we learn here, he's going to Dread Return. What we learn here is that Platinum Angel actually would have caused him a problem. We get to see that he has Force of Will, Daze, Brainstorm, Dryad Arbor, Mental Misstep, Force of Will again, Cabal Therapy, which is interesting, Daze, multiple Dazes, Elvish Spirit Guides to speed up the combo, and then Lord of Extinction. Further implication is that none of those cards are in his hand. I mean, Brainstorm is in the deck, so he can put those back. Okay, he's also got a giant Solifuge. So we know how this deck works now. We definitely are going to be losing this game. But that was interesting. Okay, so he's going to be attacking with a 58-55 trample. Cool. I guess that's a little bit classier than the Mimeoplasm route. So we'll just go ahead and do this. This is probably a bad matchup for us because it's difficult to interact with him in the stack. Something worth noting is that Heap Doll is actually really good. What else is good? Pithing Needle is going to be good. Tormod's Crypt is going to be good. I think all of these could be good, even though his combo pieces aren't as important in that respect. Lawan does not do anything. I assume that Leyline works too. So I take it we have actually a lot of good sideboard stuff against him. One thing that isn't as important actually is Wormcoil. Duplicate might be better because it kills a creature. Zealous might allow me to sacrifice Hermit Druid or something. So I might want to bring all of these cards in. My guess as to what he's going to do is try and figure out what would he do here. I think what he would try and do is make my combo non-functional. So I'm wondering if like boarding out Birthing Pods might be the right play. I still need to find a way to kill him though. Summoner's Egg probably shouldn't be here. And as far as these cards go, I think Zealous Conscripts is one of the weaker ones, so I think I cut that. Platinum Angel I do want to try and keep in. And I would have to cut 9 more cards. That's pretty rough. Phyrexian Revoker is really good. Yeah, I mean, maybe the best thing to do is just to cut Birthing Pods and try to kill him the Lodestone Column route. And if I'm doing that, it might be worth cutting Frost Titan and a Salvage Titan, something to that effect. Platinum Angel at least seems to cause him problems, and I don't need a pod chain at this point. It means that Frogmite is much worse. So we're going down a lot on the creature count in an attempt to basically hate him out. So there's a good chance here that I'm, in a very bad way, thinning out my deck inappropriately, which would leave me unable to beat him. I actually think that Wormcoil might be better than a Salvage Titan, given this. I do have the sacrifice option with Salvage Titan. I think that this is better. I think it's better to have a big beater that can't cause you to lose the game if it gets countered. Okay, so we have a Trinisphere, a Heap Doll, a Hex Parasite, and a Thorn. I would go so far as to say that this puts us in good shape, especially with the Tolarian Academy. So I think we can win this game. And no, I'm not going to mulligan. So I'm going to start by dropping the Workshop and immediately playing... I think I want to play a Thorn, a Heap Doll, and probably then a Thorn. And then the following turn, I can play Hex Parasite and Trinisphere. So I think we can take this game. Oh, he had to mulligan to 5. That's too bad. So Trinisphere is actually, I think, pretty good against him. Well, he just concedes. I guess Thorn he loses to. I mean, that's fine. So he's going to be on the play this time. That's a bit different. Because when he's on the play, it means that... What am I trying to say here? It means that he could get down his Hermit Druid very quickly. So Revoker becomes much better. Pithing Needle becomes much better. But some of these cards might not do enough because, well, you know what? Some of them make Dread Return really bad. Heap Doll is humorously good against him. Hex Parasite probably isn't very good against him, though. Might be better than a Frogmite. I'm not sure what his mana base looks like. I guess I could have looked at it the previous game. I don't think he had any Gemstone Mines or anything. So I could put in like one Birthing Pod maybe. None of that seems really good. He could also transform his deck possibly. I haven't played against this deck before, even in practice, in all honesty. So I don't know what sorts of things it can do. He might transition as some sort of Shoth deck, in which case I look pretty bad against him, actually. And maybe would want to board back in a Frost Titan just in case. It's like one option is to keep in Frost Titan, board out the Wormcoil, even though Wormcoil is easier to cast than Frost Titan, certainly. And I would need... I mean, all of it is highly questionable to me, because I don't know what he's doing. Like, even that decision seems really questionable, throwing the Frost Titan out. Yeah, you know what? So I brought up the possibility that he could transform his deck. We're going to try doing it this way. Hopefully he's brought in things like Cage, Grafdigger's Cage. And actually, that wouldn't do him any good. Yeah, so maybe boarding out the Birthing Pods isn't very good, but I think I just want to go straight Workshop against him and try to play as many Thorns and Trinospheres, etc. as I can. Okay, so he's choosing to play. Let's see if he keeps his hand. Our hand, we have a Strip Mine, which is good, but that won't do anything if he gets a first turn. Okay, so we are going to not mulligan because we have a Revoker, and that lets us deal with a turn 1 Hermit Druid, and hopefully he doesn't have counter backup. If he does, that's just really rough for us, I think. So what we're going to try to do here is play out a first turn Thorn. He could Strip Mine us. I guess we'd be in a lot of trouble. But I'm sort of willing to take that risk. Okay. So maybe playing the Strip Mine there and forcing him to wait a turn would have been the right play. Because now this guy comes down. So on our turn, I mean, if he has Force of Will, I think we just lose. Unless that does something. That gives us an extra option. So I'm going to play the Strip Mine very first thing. We can kill his green source. That's something worth knowing. First thing I'm going to do is play a Tormod's Crypt. Oh my god, it costs 1. Okay, cancel that. Okay. Here's the question. Do I try to get a Revoker in play? He could have another green source, I think, fairly easily. He's got even Lotus Petals. So I play Revoker. It prevents the Hermit Druid from doing anything. Tormod's Crypt, I have to think about this, because it deals with the Dread Return. I can't play Revoker and Tormod's Crypt and kill a land all at the same time. But I think having Revoker and Tormod's Crypt is better than having Revoker and killing his land. With that being said, yeah, let's do this. We're going to lead off with Revoker. And if he forces it, then we can play the Tormod's Crypt. Naming Hermit Druid, obviously. Okay, so now we have the option of playing the Tormod's Crypt or killing one of his lands. If he casts Chain of Vapor... Hang on. bounces the permanent before I have a chance to let's see, I would restack it, do all these things. Does he or she may copy the spell, may choose new. Yeah, so the bounce, let's see. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So he targets Revoker. I'm imagining that he's going to activate Hermit Druid and bounce Revoker. He targets Revoker. I may sacrifice a land to copy this spell and may choose a new target, so I would put it on the Druid and bounce that. The implication is he can't... Yes, he won't be able to use the Hermit Druid until the Revoker's bounced, and I would take priority with the bounce. So I'm going to go ahead and cast the Tormod script here, and I think that's the right play. Okay, so now I pass the turn. That doesn't scare me right now, but maybe I'm misunderstanding how something works in his deck. I guess I can strip mine it. Okay, so this turn we did not have enough to be able to cast Lodestone Golem, but we will ideally next turn. I might want to strip his Underground Sea, but I think I want to be able to cast a Lodestone Golem next turn. So he could cast a Nature's Claim, for instance. On Revoker. But I still have the Crypt. He's got a second creature out, but that doesn't matter. I'm thinking about Dread Return. We won't be attacking. And there's the Nature's Claim. Okay, so I take it then that he... Oh, God. Huh. Okay. So if he targets the Tormod's Crypt, that means he probably has a Chain of Vapor. That might mean that I don't want to sacrifice my Strip Mine right now. I definitely don't think exiling his 2 cards is worth the life, though. I'd rather gain the life. Huh. Yeah, I might need to sacrifice the Strip Mine to Chain of Vapor, so I'm going to keep it around. Then again, if I just killed the Underground Sea, he wouldn't have been able to cast a Chain of Vapor at all. So maybe that would have been the right play. Now he's got 3 lands. If he is able to cast Chain of Vapor, he can make my Revoker bounce before his Hermit Druid. So I think I may have just made a terrible mistake. Though it's kind of hard to say. All out of greed for getting a Lodestone Golem down. Again, I want to defend myself and say this isn't a matchup I've played before, but I suppose I can't do that. Is this like a channel? Oh, it's a Solifuge? Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and block with the Frogmite. Again, I want to see something about Chain of Vapor. Copy this spell, may choose a new target. Okay, so you don't have to cast it. You copy the spell, not the card. This puts it in the graveyard, in his graveyard. And that could be really bad. Maybe I just want to take 4 from this. I think I'm just going to take 4 from this. If I knew how to play against this deck that I'm playing against, my decisions would be much, much easier to make. Grim Monolith. Does that do much right now? I think it might do something next turn. But it doesn't do much right now. I would say that it helps me get Lodestone Golem around a daze, but that's only if I want to strip mine as Underground Sea and then play the Grim Monolith. No, that doesn't get it around days. No, it would, because I'd kill the Underground Sea. What I'm trying to say is I think it's valuable to get Lodestone Golem out. So what I'm going to do first, I think, is attack. Okay, so let's have some fun here. Oh my god, I can't cast it. That's no good. I can't cast that and Lodestone Golem. Okay, so I feel kind of silly about that. Oh god. Let's keep that out. We'll use it next turn, we'll take a ton of damage. This is bad, I could just lose to a Solifuge killing me. What I really want is a Mirror Retriever to get back Frogmite. I'm sorry, Tormod's Crypt. Then I'd feel safe. Okay, so I could kill this Hermit Druid. He's hitting me for 6. Am I willing to tolerate that? I go take 6. Wow, that's bad. Okay, so Frogmite definitely should have stayed back. You learn something new every day. So we go to 6, it limits the number of Ancient Tomb activations. I go to 4, play a Lodestone Golem. Then everybody has to block, which is scary. Kind of don't want to lose a Revoker though, because I think he's probably got another Hermit Druid in his hand. So I think I have to take it, which is terrible. So the reason we're in this bad of a situation is because of myriad play mistakes. So this costs 2 and it makes only 2 mana. That's lovely. We're gonna do it though. Huh. So he counters this. Rather than counter a Soul Ring than the Lodestone Golem. I think this gets forced. Yeah. That's too bad. What did he exile? Mimeoplasm. So he had that in his hand? Okay, well, that explains why he was playing so weird. Okay, so that's too bad. Now we have to block Solifuge. We take 2. Maybe 2 more, and then Ancient Tomb is basically turned off. All this is very bad. That mean we might have to block the Hermit Druid? Man, I wish I knew what I was doing in this matchup. So he's got 1 card in his hand that he just drew. Means he didn't have Hermit Druid in his hand last turn. Means I blocked that bad boy. It puts it in his yard. Let's draw land here. That's kind of like a land. Kind of. Okay. So our guys are definitely going to stay back. I suspect that tapping Mana Vault is bad, and I also suspect that equipping a Skull Clamp is bad. But I'm going to go ahead and I think play out the Mana Vault. We won't be tapping that anytime soon because we're at such low life. Got to keep our bros happy here. Come on, Mirror Retriever. So I feel like our top decking is better than his. I guess if I really want a Mirror Retriever, I should play out a Skull Clamp. Okay, so I'm hoping then his... Wow. This is interesting. I think I'm going to be willing to take one from the Dryad Arbor in order to kill the Hermit Druid, because I think he's got another one in hand. I mean, that's sort of what he's counting on. Or what he might do is hardcast Narcomoeba. Actually, that's probably his plan now, is to find Narcomoebas and attack in the air, which is humorous. Okay, that's one of the better cards we could have just drawn. But... Okay, so what happens if I cast this? I can't really tap the Ancient Tomb to cast it. I mean, I could. It's just really risky. We have 5 available here. Then I have to untap this. Or I take 1, which would put me at 2. Which is really bad, because then he could kill me with Narcomoeba in 2 turns. Which is funny that that's what's going on right now, but it's what's going on right now. But then again, he could kill me Narcomoeba in 3 turns if I don't do anything. So I guess what I'm trying to say is... the Mana Vault could kill me. That's what I'm trying to say. At least I would have a blocker then. So it's like having a Lodestone Golem out, only I also have this Mana Vault out, dealing damage to me. All of it's bad. The alternative is to Skull Clamp my own Revoker. And draw some cards. That cost me 3 mana. That's bad. Yeah, I think that's really bad, actually. So, this is some high-risk crap here. And it definitely will involve me attacking with Revoker. Then again, if I do this and he has Chain of Vapor, he can actually bounce the Lodestone Golem and attack for 1, and then my Mana Vaults. I can bounce that by sacking an Ancient Tomb. Yeah, so we have to attack here. Bizarre game, huh? This format is awesome. So, I mean, I guess I could just lose here. Like, I'm definitely going to be taking 1 this turn. Then again, I could untap it and take 2 from Ancient Tomb, which I won't have an option to do the following turn. I mean, I have 8, I have 7 on the board. Play a Skull Clamp and maybe kill him in 2 turns if he has nothing. I'm going to bring myself to 1 seems so bad. I think that might be the right play, though. Then if he has a Narcomoeba, I guess I lose. If I draw a land, this turns out to have been, I guess, a mistake. Oh man, I really wish I could cast that. That's funny. Huh. Wow, that is funny, isn't it? Let's get in there with Lodestone. And if he has Chain of Vapor, I lose. That's fine. Oh wow, that's gonna do it. Okay, well that's round one. That was a lot of fun. It's too bad we didn't win, but totally worth it. We'll see you guys next round.